You see, as I've told other people, I made this story quite short. And I made it short because compared to the old days, with all due respect, people from a Western civilization tend to have short attention spans compared to what they used to have when they didn't have so many distractions. See? Because the storyteller was it. There was no TV, there weren't any movies, there weren't any books to read. You had a storyteller, and that was all there was. So, boy, you couldn't wait to listen to the storyteller, and you'd listen to the storyteller all night long, all night long. And so what they did in the stories, I gave a few hints in this one. But what they would do in the stories would be to tell all kinds of things that would not only give information, not only give entertainment, but also teach the people about the things they needed to know. Teach the young people, and the story would be a favorite story, and the older people would enjoy it, and the young people would learn from it. So if I were telling this in an old-fashioned style, why, it would not only be longer, but we'd be talking about what kind of wood was used for the fires and how they were prepared and how they actually made the fires, which, by the way, was with a fire plow. Okay? They did not use a fire drill here. If you're not familiar with a fire plow, this is where you have a stick of softwood, and one of the favorites they used was a wood called hau, which grows still today along the rivers. It's almost like balsa wood. Right? And they would use it for outriggers, but they'd also use it to make fire. And then they'd take a hardwood. Ohia was a favorite wood to use for that. Sandalwood, as a very hard wood, would be used. And so they'd put the one piece of wood down, and they'd make a groove, and very, very rapidly. They would do that until the best softwood would be a wood that would powder. And as the friction would heat it up, then it'd start to get a little glow, and then you blow on it in the right way, and you'd have a nice fire going. I've seen this happen in Micronesia, where they were doing a demonstration, and two young men were trying to demonstrate on the stage, small stage, about, group like this, and they were trying to demonstrate how to do the fire plow, and nothing was happening. And so finally an old woman got up in disgust. She went up and grabbed the two sticks from the boys, lit it, lit her cigarette, tossed it away, and walked away. Okay? Just bam, just like that. So if you know how to do it, it looks real easy. Okay? But that's the kind of fire making that they used to do in old Hawaii. So then we'd be talking about that. We'd be talking a lot about the stars, because that was part of the story. And then which stars are the ones that are directly over Hawaii, which enabled, see, the Hawaiians were really good at latitudes, because they would find the location on the ocean by the stars that went directly overhead. Okay? And they had a whole trail of stars, so that, depending on what time of night, they'd always be able to find one. And what they do, if they're coming from the South Pacific to the north, why, when they come to the north, they would find the latitude, because they also knew all the currents and the winds and things like that. So they'd find the latitude where they knew a particular star. Arcturus is one that comes right over Hawaii. And then they'd just find that where that star was directly overhead and make a left turn and hit the islands, just like that, invariably. So they would always be able to reach the islands going that way. Well, see, the story would have included a lot more things like that. And it would have included about the growing of the taro and the sweet potato and how that was done. It would talk about how they raised and fattened the pigs and the poi dogs, they used to call them, because they ate poi. They were vegetarian dogs. Okay? They fed them on poi, which comes from the taro plant. And so all of these things would be included in the story that would take a long time, but at the same time be teaching the young people about their culture and about how to do things and about the various roles that people played and so forth. So that's how it would have been done in the old days.